Are you a book lover or enthusiast? Do you need genuine and unique lifestyle products? Or are you looking for a place where you can find contemporary and a wide range of unique gifts for children and adults? Laterna is your go-to place for genuine and contemporary books and lifestyle products for wholesale and retail customers. We stock business books on management, leadership, financial success, entrepreneurship, personal development, and so much more. We carry children's fiction, non-fiction, educational books, CDs, and DVDs. We also stock Christian books on various themes such as church life and growth, spirit-filled living, love, sex, and marriage, to mention but a few. Laterna carries life and style books such as baby and child care, beauty and style, conception and pregnancy, crafts, and hobbies. We also carry adult, children, and teenagers' Bibles, educational toys, framed art, gifts, greeting cards, home and office fragrances, stationery, teachings, and lots more. Our stores are located at plot 1611 Adiola Hopewell Street, Victoria Island, Lagos. Online at www.laternabooks.ng. Laterna, your lifestyle hub for book lovers. For inquiries, call 0803 301 4462, 0809 525 3223, 0809 525 3484, or 0809 525 3485. Chat with us via WhatsApp on 0810 023 4441. You may also reach us on social media via Twitter at Laterna Books, Instagram at Laterna Books, and Facebook at Laterna Ventures.
So the first thing is, if you want to actually make wealth and you don't start thinking about the perpetuity of that wealth, you may just maybe be averagely rich, be able to manage Nigerian circumstances. But when you start thinking of perpetuity, legacy, then you are able to sustain wealth, and then you yourself would be able to enter into that wealth, and then you can say, okay, yes, I am wealthy. Now, if you look at this next slide that our engineer, the person on the dashboard, is going to show us right now, you see three basic people. This is Cornelius Vanderbilt, this is John D. Rockefeller, and this is Samuel Walton. And I don't know who rings it up after this three. Rockefeller rings it up. Walmart should ring the bell to you. Yeah. So maybe a little bit of Vanderbilt won't ring the bell because he actually lived in the 1720 thereabout, and Rockefeller, because of the generation, and then we have the Vanderbilt had an estimated worth of $1.5 million when he passed, which is worth $3 million right now in 2024. But yet, 48 years later, after his death, one of his direct descendants died penniless. Just 48 years after his death. At the time of the death of Rockefeller, he was estimated to be worth $1.4 billion. And as at now, Rockefeller is dead since around, I think that was around I can't remember exactly when he died, but that was 1937, yeah. It's even on the screen. And this is 2024. He died with $1.4 billion. And now he had children that could grow that wealth to $350 billion. From $1.4 billion to $350 billion. This is Walton. Walton, as at the time he died, left $8.9 billion. And as at today, 2025, he is worth $440 billion. This tells you about legacy. This tells you about being able to intentional pass things on to the next generation. So it calls for reminiscence for us to think that what are we raising, who are we raising as children, and who do we want to pass on whatsoever we have? Is it the word of God? Is it your skills? Is it whatsoever you have? I lost my dad at the age of I was 10 when my dad passed, but he passed on legacy. He passed on God. He passed on, you have a goal, you have a vision. And there were a lot that he passed on. I pray, I'm a child of God, so don't mind my faith, but I just hope that we all press into that. So why does this matter? I'm going to put this to Nigerian test. We have a lot of youthful population. The Nigerian economy is youthfully populated. So in my company, for instance, I'm a stockbroker and I trade on the Nigerian exchange. I see that majority of the people bringing in money into the Nigerian exchange are the likes of the 60s to 70s, like the real guys with the money, right? And their children, funny enough, are not interested in the Nigerian market. They want to do crypto, they want to do US stocks. And I'm wondering, we have more youthful population. So the essence is that your wealth, is it sustainable? And I tell my bosses, wherever I've worked, you want to deal with the high net worth individuals. But when they pass, the guys that will take on this wealth won't invest in your country, except you invest in technology and except you are ready to take them in. They won't. So that's for the Nigerian exchange. But it also applies to us. So we have to prepare income for generations. And then this book is giving us a practical roadmap. I beg you, get this book. Really, get this book. Next slide. So there's two things that the book was referring to, and I know Mr. Mokhtar already put us through. It's saying that for you to have something perpetually driven, you have to have an income producing. It didn't say real estate, income producing. So it's not like you're just having landed properties in Ekpe, Lekki Ekpe, and everywhere. Something that generates income and then a continually innovative enterprise. Some of us have stocks, we have bonds, we do treasury bills and a lot of things. But also a business that, like somebody started Paystack, right? And some people invested in Paystack. The worth when Paystack started, and those venture capitalists and the private equity guys that invested in that company, what they took out can be like 200 to 500% of what they invested. So when I'm saying continually innovative enterprise, you see an enterprise that has a future, and you say, okay, even though you may look small now, I can see your models, and I know that something better will come out of you. So I'm going to invest in you. We have many agri-tech right now. It looks like they are small. Anybody that seizes the opportunities and start investing into those business, by the time those guys will grow up, what you will be able to get from them, you will be shocked. All right, next slide. Thank you. If I would appreciate if you can just continue moving with me. You can help my speed also. So there's a benchmark model, what your plan should be like. Like there's a model that the authors, they are researchers, and they went and scouted through different people and they found out that, okay, you must have at least 25% privately held businesses, 25% real estate. Just put your whole income into proportions that would guide you. And then you must do a risk plan. You must self-assess yourself and take risks. Where do you stand right now? So they gave us like a whole self-assessment. That's why I like the book. Any book that assesses you, that makes you see where you stand and makes you see where you should move into, is something you should read. So even myself, where I stood right now, and he said, okay, you have assets, you have liabilities, you have your net worth. Your net worth is your assets minus your liabilities. The gap analysis is, okay, what is the gap between where I am right now and where I ought to be in maybe 5 years' time or 10 years' time? And then, okay, the first thing is clear out your liabilities. Take away at least the short-term debt that you can take away, then move forward to what you want to do next. Then the next thing is, you can move the slide, please. Your risk tolerance. How can you take risks? I was in a radio station yesterday and I spoke about risks thoroughly. Risks is not something you are thinking about and you're saying, okay, you're just guessing that I am conservative, I'm risk averse, I can't take risks at all. It is about your emotions. When Zenith Bank is falling and you have maybe 500,000 units of Zenith Bank and it just fell 50 kobo, and your heart is already doing, you are very risk averse. It's just natural to you. You can't take enough risks. And there are some people that you just believe that Zenith Bank that I bought is a fundamentally sound stock. Even if it is down now, by tomorrow or by next week, it will be back up. So you are not shaking. So how much risks can you take? So calculate your risks and get advisors. So this is what that whole chapter was talking about. Then he went ahead to talk about real estate, investing in real estate. So I made it, I didn't copy and paste what the book said. I said, okay, for real estate in Nigeria, for something that is workable, what can you get? Student hostels, they are in high demand. If you go to the likes of Unilag, I have siblings that are currently struggling in that school, right? Because there are not enough hostels, and even the hostels that are there are very priced. You can just start something in any school, anywhere. I'm a graduate of Obafemi Awolowo University. Sorry, I did not introduce myself because I knew I was very late. I'm Blessing Jimoh, graduate of Obafemi Awolowo University, where I studied accounting. And hostel in 200 level, I basically was sleeping in the class as a young lady because there were no hostels. And the hostels that were available, I could not afford, right? So I would just squat with somebody that they were already two on the bed, and then I will look, is there anybody available? Say, I'm going for night reading. I have a book, no, we are not reading anything. Let me just get there, put my head on desk and rest. Students hostel are in high demand. If you have opportunity and you can see landed property, or you have parents that have landed property in Ife, they have landed property in Ilorin or wherever, you can get something. This can generate income for you persistently into the future that your children will inherit and also be able to work with. Rental flats, commercial suites. We now have the likes of people building shortlet apartments. Those are things that you could look into if you have a landed property. And the book also told us that you can also buy lands actually, and then wait for them to be developed. Then identify local opportunities. Find properties that you just know that, okay, I can get it cheap and I can tie it down. Thank you. So this is just the checklist, how you can source and then make sure that you have the cash flows and everything. The book would really guide you through this. Next slide, please. Yeah, like I said earlier on, innovative enterprise. Make sure you find a business that you're willing to invest in. Even if it is small right now, it can grow big. As long as it is tech-driven, they are young, they are vibrant, and they are innovative. You can see it, no matter how small it is. You see that it also has like a perpetuity. You know, the business is not something that will crumble at any time. Your small penny in that business can later now grow, but start with something like that. You are even already doing your own private equity yourself without, yeah. All right, we can move from innovative to the next chapter. Okay, so then he gave us an action plan. That is another thing why I like the book. When you read and there is no action you're taking from whatsoever you're doing, there is no reason why you just read the book. And even if a book does not give you an action plan, it is mandatory that you yourself sit down and say, okay, what have I gained from this book? And how can I bring it into my life? Like I said, there is a place of assessing yourself, that where am I, writing out all your assets, all your liabilities, and netting it off, and then benchmarking it with the benchmark model in the book. And before you know it, you know your gap, you fill it in, get advisors, people that can advise you. So right now I'm in the last slide, action and close, because of our time. Okay, maybe I should just speak to habits and legacy a bit. Because what I'm saying right now, without habits, we can't get there. The millionaire code, you have structured routine that makes a millionaire a millionaire. Discipline, moderate consumption, generous giving. Most of them are philanthropists, right? And most times they understand the power of giving. And then family involvement. Like I said about Rockefeller, and I also mentioned Walmart. Thank you, Samuel Walton. I heard that Walton, like his sons, from even in the inception of the business, you're already managing the math already in various forms. Why some of them didn't even really have that passion to do it. Right now, even young children, all of us, like I can't say young children, Gen Zs, right? We understand that it's not about passion, it's about what is bringing the money. Then what has brought the money will fund the passion, right? Yes. So we now understand that we'll build your children, everyone around you. My colleagues, some of them, their parents already bought shares for them long time ago. They just came in. For instance, Aradel is a position I want to take. I don't know whether some of us knows that stock Aradel. It was in NESD. I know I'm saying a lot of jargon. Only Mr. Mokta and some people that are nodding their head can understand me. Right? Somebody bought over 8 million shares. Okay. Aradel later did stock split that made the shares what. So maybe from the inception of the shares, she bought like 3 million and started growing. But right now she had 8 million worth of Aradel. Aradel is currently trading 570, 577 around this morning. It's now 578. Now, when she would be buying that stock, I'm too sure she did not buy it 100 naira. Yes, because on NESD as at last year, Aradel was what you will see why it concerns what we are saying here. Aradel was trading around 600 before the stock split and then went to 750. Somebody did he had the shares when we had not dematerialized. It dematerialized, and what he got at 1,500 when I sold it for him. Another man sent a mandate that we should sell, and he was shocked. He said, "We sold all his old stocks in this life when he did not give us permission." And I was like, "Sir, you only told us." He was shocked, like he didn't expect that what he would be getting from that stock. He thought we sold all his old portfolio. For you to know how much Aradel was worth. And now this woman has 8 million. She sent 2 million units to one of her children. She sent another 2 million units, and I heard that these children are still minors to another child. I hope those children have sense. Yes, I just hope so. Because I was like, now you don't understand life. You just wake up and you meet 2 million units of Aradel. And maybe by the time you even wake up to life, Aradel is already like 2,000 naira, right? And then you are just like, oh, 2,000 times 2 million. And you just okay, I'll buy iPhone, I'll buy bags, I'll buy. That is why we need to read this book. So, and that is why this millionaire lifestyle code is important. Discipline, passing out structured routine to your children. And then this is the action. So action and close. Action and close. Okay. Build a will. Get a trust account. You can actually reach out to me if you need any of this advice, or even Mr. Mokta would assist you in how you can get a trust account. Maybe you've not even given birth and you have children, young children that has not started school. You can invest in an educational trust so that by the time you are there, you are not struggling with your school fees and all, right? Get a will. Get a will. About of late, we're sorry about that, but I know you should have a will. But imagine if he thought he was too young to have a will. Get a will. So the first thing here, our action plan, please, I want us to take note of this as we close. Eliminate bad debt. Any bad debt that you see, that just try and eliminate it. Acquire home plus rental. Try as much as you can to put. There's one called Mofi. Mofi is from the Ministry of Finance Incorporated. They are starting a mortgage, very different from whatever you have ever had in Nigeria, right? And I'm privileged to know a little bit about the project. So the government is actually coming together to make sure homes are available to every young Nigerian or old Nigerian, wherever you are, as long as you have a housing plan, you have a pension account, and then you have a stable salary, right? Very soon it will be out in the public. Make sure that at least you sign up for that, right? For Mofi. Mofi, it's a real estate plan, and they are also going to be listing on the Nigerian exchange. I think it's something you can check out to invest in also. So acquire home plus rental, fund a private business. A young guy comes to you and he says, I have this agri-tech company. Check it out. If you see that it makes sense and there is great potential, invest in such. You're already making perpetual wealth for your children. And then hire trusted advisors. Don't go to YouTube and watch YouTube and say you are a stockbroker. Don't follow Twitter and say they said Geregu is this, and because of that, you're buying it. Get an advisor. An advisor makes the difference. And then teach children money skills. Your children are not too young. They say they want, there's this labubu or something that people, and you are buying it for them, buy 5. Share 2, 2, 2. You will tell them you will work for that labubu. As long as you can work for it, then it's fine. I will buy it for you. And if you are not ready to work for it, I see people that I really respect, and I see the discipline they place on their children, and I see that they are ready for perpetual wealth. I hope you're also able to do so. Thank you.
Thank you so much. You have done justice to the book more than, and it's a very short time. Thank you. You finished the book. So I don't know what to say again than to advise a lot of you to get this book. I still think it's one of the most. Okay, it's still one of the most complete books on wealth creation. Another book that come close to this could be The Millionaire Next Door. Yeah. I think that's another book that is close to this. And I think Laterna will make that available. I'm putting them on the spot. So there's no how you have The Millionaire Next Door and you have Get Rich, Stay Rich, and pass it on. If 10 years from now you are still where you are, then that means you are not implementing what those books tells you, because those are the 2 books. Yes, she said something about, just to summarize the summary, she talked something about those 3 families. The Wilbert family, what happened was that the children wasted the wealth in terms of selling off some of those things to take to invest in other video games and other things. Yes. And at the end of the day, those businesses didn't turn out well and they died penniless. I talked about Rockefeller also. The student, most of his investment went into the real estate sector, so the children were able to acquire because they had a goodwill. And some of those businesses were rental businesses, and they were in areas at that time were not very developed area. Yeah. So we're talking about we were talking about the Manhattan of this world at that time. And then the Walmart, like I said, mostly that's talk about the entrepreneurship and also getting his children involved. And like I mentioned, anytime you see the listing of the 10 richest men in the world, some Walmart children, 6 of them are always there. Yeah. Among the 10 richest people in the world. So that's talking about legacy. Just to add to what she talked about, Arade, and that's what we're talking about, investing in private equity. You know, in this book, you also realize that the rich love private equity investment that are not yet public. Yes, exactly. And she brought a good example in terms of Aradel. Aradel at the time was Niger Delta Development Company before it became Aradel. I have a story there also about that. I know of an aunt that also husband invested in Aradel, and her husband has also passed on, and she called me after something like this. She called me to say, "Oh, my husband used to have Aradel. I've invested in Aradel, and along the line, it didn't work out fine." And she passed on, and since then I don't know what has happened to Aradel. So I tried to contact a friend, and I said, "Please, this." So we had a check, just to know that this woman, at the time she was calling me, she was penniless. What I mean penniless is that she has less than 10,000 naira in her account. Wow. At the time we finished the phone conversation, the outstanding dividend of Aradel alone that was outstanding for her was 239 million. Wow. Dividend alone. The stock, the unit of the stock is about 4 point something million. So if you calculate that by 578 naira, do your math. So she's a billionaire. Okay. So it's practical things with practical. I'm talking about practical things that she just made about. So that's why this book is very, very important. You get. this book so that you know how to invest. She talked about getting people to also help you, like her, their company also. The last thing is that a lot of us say my people perish because of lack of knowledge. A lot of us don't have knowledge on some of these investments. That we have some product we always think. And again, I think she has hit it. I go to shareholder meetings, and it's a problem with the Gen Zs. You go to shareholder meetings of companies, you realize that you see the older people, they are still there, those in their 70s, they are making noise, and they don't even have enough shares. They're just there making noise because of what the company will give to them. We say, oh, yes, you're a good company, and da, da, da. But the younger generation seems not to be interested in this kind of long-term wealth creation. They're interested in crypto, they want to make it, they want to hammer, they're talking about Forex because they look at the exchange rate. But I don't want to go into what exchange, but just want to tip it. The only time your exchange makes sense is when you change that dollar to naira.
Yes.
I can assure you. If you are just going to take that dollar to spend in America, you're already dealing with inflation. So I think she has said a lot. We'll be open for questions. She talked more about stocks, stock trading. She talked about stock trading. This is another very good book for stock trading. If anybody can get this book, it's a wonderful book. Despite my knowledge, I'm still reading it. I try to read this book. The Art of Execution. I try to read it virtually every year. It's a very good book. This one, Thou Shalt Prosper. Wow. One book that I've had for over 10 years. And fortunately for me now, the man that made me buy the book is seated here. I kept it, so I won't call his name. At that time, it was in Laterna. He was the one that made me to buy this book, Thou Shalt Prosper. I still have it. One book you want to have, very, very good book to read all through the year. Let it be like your Bible. And I will add the Millionaire Next Door to it also, even if we don't have it at all. I'm sure that they'll make it available in soon as possible time. Those are books that you need to have, that you need to read virtually every year. Sometimes they become my Bible. That's a book you read every year. Yeah. The Intelligent Investor, all time.
Every day.
All time. You can't be an investor and you don't have an intelligent investor. This is the book that made Warren Buffett the richest man in the world. This book was written by his mentor, Benjamin Graham. This book was written in 1939. It's still the same principle. The book that you all need to get, The Intelligent Investor. So let's go back and get questions. Questions from the audience here, and especially online. We have more people online. Thank you for joining our online community. So you can put your question to us, and she'll be here to answer it, and also will help. Thank you. Well, before she answers, let me ask you a question. Being in this business of wealth creation, what do you think is the challenge of creating perpetual wealth in Nigeria? Why? Because I was giving them, before you came in, I was talking about, we don't see that generational wealth in Nigeria. We don't see them so much. We can name about one or two. And if you look at it, only one seems to be linked directly. The other one, if you look at Dantata, you say, okay, he has an uncle to Aligo Dangote's grandfather, he gave him money, but you are not linking it directly to it. So again, it's still a family thing. But now it's Dangote, it's not Dantata. And you look at the only one that we could see is the Hebrews family. They're still building their wealth in real estate, in hospitality, and other ventures. So why is it a challenge in Nigeria? Based on your experience, based that you're in the field, you've seen people passed on, and maybe you're like me, I've seen people passed on, leave shares for their children, and their children could not even bury them. They have to sell those shares to bury their father, and after the burial, they just come to share the money. They say sell everything because they don't even think there is value in it. They don't even have a unity. There are ones that you said, okay, these are father's own, we want to share, we want to do. I'm talking about a family that will just come and sell off everything. They don't believe in the stock market. They don't believe in anything. But that's what their father used to train them. So what do you think is the challenge?
Thank you so much, Mr. Mokta, for the question. A lot. It's a lot, and we see it every day. I and my husband still had this discussion yesterday, and majority of the time, it's about character. When there is no character that you can pass on to children, character that I mean is not just only do this and you do it. Money character, you're able to say this is how things have been done. In fact, this generation, Mr. Mokta, I think it will even be worse. Yeah. In fact, what we've seen before, we've not. I don't think we even see close to it again, because now you can't even correct other people's children. You will see young mothers yell at you, right? There is a depletion of character every time, and I think it is one thing. Another thing is people don't carry children along. Some daddies are just there. In fact, even the wives don't know what the father has, and then how much more the children, right? You don't carry your children along, you don't tell them everything you know, right? There's a lot of gap. Another thing is that I can even see right now, many people don't even want to, they hold on too much on the little that they have, right? Like currently, I have somebody that works somewhere and the person is so, I don't know, he's so scared of losing what he has. And I'm like, how will this go from a generation to another? Because even what you have, you are so skeptical even about your employees, even knowing what you have. You are so skeptical about everything you do. You can't be a Coca-Cola. You can't. Because Coca-Cola was publicly listed. And if you are scared of this company, you are so insecure, you can't even list in the public because you will be scared of another dollar taking you out.
Taking you out.
Right? But we have great ideas in this country, but we can't pass it down because of this that I've mentioned. Character, insecurity, not carrying the family along, a whole lot.
Okay. When you talk about Ototola there, you want Tony. Remember Tony and Ototola?
Yeah.
Very good. Okay. Okay, yes. But again, it's not always doom and doom because I also have good experience. I know of at the point I know of my pastor of blessed memory, and he sat me down and said, like I'm talking about character. He's saying, you see what I'm doing now? He said, it's not that I want to buy shares so that I can keep it for my children to have money, but I want to teach them how to grow so that when they are of age, I will sit them down and say, you know what? This is what I did, this is what I did, this is what I did, and I want you to take it from there. And that's exactly it, because I buying shares for his children when they were like 10 or 15. He started buying for them. And by the time they were, when they came back from abroad, most of them take ownership of their shares. And up to this moment, they are still investing. They are building on their own, not even their father's own. So, yes, sometimes the creation of generational wealth is not just to leave so much for your child, is to build a character that he or she can build on. You talk about work. I think, again, in this country these days, we are beginning to see that parents are beginning to send their children to work during holiday.
Yeah.
I did it, and I did it in Laterna. I was deliberate and intentional about it, so that you will know what it means to work value, because that's what you get abroad.
Yeah.
I went to a supermarket yesterday. I saw a very young girl seated there, and I asked her, I said, you work here? Is your father the owner of this place? Because that's the only time you see people in Nigeria. And she said, no. I said, so are you not going to school? She said, I'm waiting. I'll finished school. I'll be going to university anytime soon from now. But I'm working in this supermarket. So I think we are getting there gradually, but we can do better. For Gen Z generation, I mean, I don't know, because I keep saying, I might tell my wife, I say, you better keep things for yourself, because these ones, they're always only themselves and themselves and themselves alone. So at the point you call your child, he will tell you that, look, daddy, I don't even have it. Those days when you're, in short, I used to jokingly say, it's train the trainee. Your parents are training you to go to school. They are telling you how you should come back from school and pay your little brother's school fees. But these days, even sharing with their little one is always a challenge. So we have to impact them on them. So let's get questions from online. Any question online first? Okay. Will she say it? Will you type it out? Will you say it out? Anyone, we are ready. Okay. Go ahead, please. We don't know the author, and is it available right now? Yes, it's available. Right by Daniel Limpy. It's available right away. Okay, so we want to pick it down. The bank details, and they were flashed. I don't know how we can get. Okay, they will get the bank detail back on. All right. When then the last one, I think I just needed the phone number should be repeated because they were just flashed and I was taken off. Okay, the phone number of Laterna Venture. Yes. The phone number of Laterna Venture. Laterna Venture. Somebody should put it on the screen, but also somebody wants to have the phone number. They will get it to you. Please give us like 1 minute. Somebody will be reading out the phone number of Laterna Venture to you. Okay, yeah. So can we have it? 080 330 144 62. Oh, you've gotten it, sir. I got it. Thank you. So, any other question? The bank account details. The bank account details. That will be. Recording stopped. Now, I think can somebody put it on the chat box? Yes. Someone should get it on the chat box. Somebody will get it on the chat box, sir. So look out for the detail on the chat box, sir. Okay, thank you. Thank you. Yeah. Okay. Any more questions? Online. You have questions?
There's another question here.
Yes.
Question is for Mr. Musa. If you had 5 million naira disposable income today, how would you invest it for midterm?
I'm just the moderator. Can't be asking me that question.
Let's hear from
you. No, can't be asking me. This is the person that's reviewing. Let's get from the reviewer. Are you? I'm just a moderator. What's that? Let her talk. I will add to it. Answer the question.
There is a second question. Should I ask?
No, let's finish this first one. Let her answer. Then I will add. Are you asking me?
All right, 5 million naira. So for me, maybe because I'm stock facing, right? Because I can't put that in real estate. is something very small, but I can put it in stocks, right? True, I check in what analysts write vis-a-vis what I view the stock market is doing, right? So actually, 5 million is not too much for me to put in stocks, but in various baskets, right? I'll put it in different baskets because right now inflation is going down. If you see what the MPC meeting results came out with, they actually dropped yields with I think that was 50 basis points, and it was quite a lot. I was anticipating 25 basis points, right? So that means treasury bills right now would not be something very enticing. So for a midterm, and I know that this is a equity cycle whereby October is quiet, November a bit quiet, December rally, January rally. I will put everything in the stock market. Sorry, I'm still young and I can still take a little bit of risk.
Yeah, she's taking risks. If I have 5 million now, depending on what is my goal. So I'm answering you now. Am I a long time?
You said medium term.
Medium term. If you are looking at medium term, like she said, where do you want to buy land for 5 million? Is it in Mowe?
No land.
There's no land for 5 million there. Or you go to Ekpe. Even Ekpe doesn't have. Even after Ekpe now, land is not 5 million again. Okay. So definitely, and then in land, it comes with its own challenges when it comes in land in Nigeria. So I'll put it in equity. I'll totally agree with her. I'll put it in equity, and I'll do it now. That market is quiet. It's not when market is loud that you put your money away. I will do it now. I don't want to market any stock. But if me, I have 5 million, now I know where to put it. And in at once by December, January, I would have made up to 32. I'll beat inflation.
Yes.
I'll beat inflation. That I know. So if you want more on that, please contact Laterna Venture. Laterna Venture will contact me.
Yes.
Then you will pay for the services.
Yes.
Then we'll take it from there. Any other question?
Yes, there's one more question. Okay. How do you build volume when it comes to trading stock?
She will answer.
Volume.
How do you build volume when you take trading stock?
Okay, you build volume gradually, right? When you want to start trading stocks, you may not want to rush if you're just a first-time investor and just pile it all up. And like I said, you don't just put all your money in one basket. You could check out different sectors of the economy. We have the consumer goods, we have industrials, we have banking, right? We have oil and gas. So right now, the oil and gas is not really doing so much, right? But the banking, see, every time for the banks, every time for the banks, right? The consumer goods, most times when FX is down, consumer goods goes down. That's the best time to pack and buy volumes. My person asking that question. So sometimes before you know what you want to exactly buy, you check in timing. You cannot totally time the market. I'm not saying you should time the market, but there is a timing when you know, okay, things are bad. When things are bad, that's the time to invest, because when things get good, that's when you will reap your reward.
Yeah.
So add your volumes little by little. Have a goal in mind. I had a client that met me and said, Blessing, I have a goal to buy 500,000 units of Zenith, 500,000 units of Zenith. He listed everything. And I thought he was actually kidding, but he was always on my DM. We've gotten to this, we are left with this. I said, this man is really serious. And he kept growing those volumes. He was not worried about the price because he was buying something fundamentally sound. So he was not worried. So there were some he bought at 38 naira, there were some he bought at 45, there was some he bought at 50. He has a goal of 500,000 units in mind. So when you have a goal in mind, you just keep building, and for you to be like that, you are a long-term person, right? I think that answers the question.
Okay, let me add to it. I'm happen to be my stories like that too. I started building volumes when the market was down. I mean, in all the stocks, in the banking stock especially. I remember I started building my volume for UBA when UBA, I don't know whether you remember that time, when UBA was 1 naira, 70 kobo.
Wow.
So I started building my volume from there. And like she said, until last year, was it last year? Yeah, until last year, UBA was still like 8 naira. Am I sure? Yeah.
Yes. 7 naira, 8 naira.
7 naira, 8 naira, yeah. And I was keep building volume. But today, UBA at close of market
before the
right issue and everything is about 43 naira.
Yes.
So you can imagine, I built volume. So what I always talk about volume, what would have cost to buy 1 million units of UBA last year was going to cost me about 8 million naira.
Mm-hmm.
Am I right?
Yes.
But to buy 1 million units of UBA now it's going to cost me about 45 million naira. So volume, if you want to build volume, like she said, you think long term. I remember when Access Bank called me to say my right during the right issue. When they told me my right, I was to collect, and I asked them, where do you want me to get this money from? That's my right. They said it was my right, and they told me the amount. And then they told me my right was about my right to write. My right, that what I'm supposed to say was about 100 and something million I have to pay to collect my right. I told them that I did not even put up to 100 million in Access Bank when I was buying it. Where do you want me to get it? About 100 and something million. So that's how volume can come. Volume comes when you have a goal. Like she said, you keep putting. I have a story also of one of my uncles. His son. He might be on the line watching now. I mean, listening too. His son. He told me, I want to build volume on this, on this, and this, and this. Sometimes he will send 200,000. Sometimes we send 300,000. Sometimes we send 500,000. Sometimes we send 1 million. Sometimes we send 5 million. At the end of the day, when we calculated what he has invested at that time and what it is now, his money has tripled. So you must be intentional if you want to build volume in the stock market. And if you want to do real estate also, you must be intentional and be ready to do what I call long suffering.
Very true.
Real estate is not so. Since this book tells us about real estate, so we need to also talk about it. And that's why you need to get this book. He also talked about location, then he also talked about long suffering. I'm using long suffering, but it's talk about patience. But me, I'm using long suffering because I'm going spiritual habit. Yeah, you need to be long suffering. Even in the stock market, I've told people there are two people in the market. We have those that are for the sprint and those that are for the marathon. The sprint always get their hand burned. Those that do the marathon will always be the one to laugh last. So you must also in real estate, there are those that are in the marathon and there are those that are in the sprint. There are people that had houses, land in Ikorodu, but because they were thinking of sprint, all of a sudden they say, Ikorodu is not good again, I'll sell it. They told them to go to Mowe. They just sold Ikorodu and they went to Mowe. And today, you can see Ikorodu price is higher than Mowe. Yes. Are we there? So please, it's all about, I tell people, if you can inculcate this fruit of the spirit, you'll be wealthy. In short, just go and read those fruit of the spirit. And then you want to invest, just sit down at that fruit of the spirit. Be fruitfulness, discipline, perseverance, patience. If you follow those process, temperament and everything, emotional intelligence, what they call emotional intelligence, temperament. Some people get upset. They say the stock market. I remember somebody talked to me like 3 or 4 years ago, and he asked me, "What do you do?" I said, "I invest in the stock market." He said, stock market still there. I said, "Why are you asking?" He said, "Because in 2006, how everything went up, so he never came back again." So you should always also have that long suffering. Any more questions, Pepe?
Yeah,
okay.
Have 2 more questions.
Good.
The third one is sorry. Okay. Aside from investing in stock, what is another avenue to invest in when you are based in
You are based in US and not Nigeria.
Yes, but you are also in Nigeria.
You are a Nigerian.
Yes.
You are based in the US, but you are not in Nigeria. Diaspora. Let her answer. I will add.
You want to invest in Nigeria?
Let her answer everything.
You want to invest in Nigeria, right?
Probably.
Okay. So there are a lot of funds you can invest in. You can start from money market funds. These are funds that invest in short-term maturities for you. So basically, we call them mutual funds. They are everywhere in the world, both US, Canada, Nigeria, and everything, right? You can invest in equity funds if you don't want to go into stock market. Those ones, they have done a balancing for you. They're already professionals. So they know the particular stock to put in their fund and the one not to put, rather than you buying it yourself. So everything, you will just buy a unit of that fund or how many units you want to buy in the fund. And then when it grows up, when the whole basket of fund goes up, your own money too is increasing, right? You can invest in treasury bills. Now, maybe you are very risk averse, you are conservative, you don't like risks at all. You are investing from the US and you want your own money to be complete. Nothing missing. Nigerian treasury bills is your go-to. You are very risk adverse. You don't want it at all. Invest in treasury bills, invest in savings bond. We have Nigerian savings bond now. They made it open to all commercial papers, right? And there are sometimes that the Nigerian government came in with a US dollar fund last year, and I think it was 9% on the dollar fund. So something like that was an opportunity that our diaspora community took. Like you can't get 9% in US.
Oh.
Like you can't. Maybe 2 or 5, 3. You can't get 5. You can't get 5. So opportunities like that, and I heard that they will still do series 2, series 3, like that. When it comes, the Nigerian government will not owe you money as long as we are a sovereign state, right? They will surely pay their debt. So you can also see such opportunities, and then you can do trust too, invest through trust.
Yes, let me add to it. In the diaspora, you also A lot of diaspora people are involved in real estate these days,
Yes.
especially in urban cities. But you also have to be very careful. Whatever. So our company is good at doing that. So I'm not advertising our company, advertising her so that she will be your your go between the company. So I think again, like she hit the nail in the head. Very very few investment in the US will give you 9%, and that's why our Eurobond was oversubscribed globally because we're giving the highest rate. The only second to us was Kenya. I mean, well, yeah, Kenya 7%.
And people are scared of Ghana.
So Ghana, Ghana had their issues. Even some of our banks also got trapped in Ghana bond too. Also. So next question.
Yes.
After this, after this, we'll only take one question from there. That will make it 5. Then we can talk to the audience and have like 2 or 3.
What do you think about land banking? Some organizations like Silos Real Estate seem to be doing that. Do you think it will be more likely than stocks in the midterm?
Okay, let me answer. I will come in.
Okay. Land banking. For me, that means you are ready to take in a lot of risks for land banking, right? I knew a lot of land bankers that they are no more in business right now. So you have to seriously scrutinize that business, and the directors do your corporate governance check well. For me, I don't know, maybe because I've seen very close people that invested in land banking and nothing is left as of now, right? So, but you must be willing to take risks, and I'll tell you to do it for short term alone.
Okay, just to add to what she said, land banking. The beauty in investing in why they cannot be the same. He's talking about stock and land banking. In the stock, there's a regulator.
Exactly.
So there's a regulator. So you are investing in companies that are regulated, and also they can't just cheat you. And again, until the company dies, your investment is still there. So you can't even compare both of them together. And like she said about land banking, gave me a story of one of my mentees in the US. At the point she was investing in the equity market, and all of a sudden somebody called her and said, "Oh, you have to invest in agriculture, agro land." And the money dried up, didn't come. And I called her and I said, babe, how far? I've not been seeing your money. What is it? I said, we said, bro, don't worry. I'm coming big. Coming big. So in the coming big was that money that she was going to invest, she have taken it to agro.
Wow.
So at the end of the day, agro no grew. So even though recently I still use it to Yaba, I say, where's your agro? He said, don't remind me of it. So you need to be, those are very highly risky investment. When I saw that agro thing came on, a lot of people came to it, and today a lot of people got their hands burned.
Yes.
Very burned. So they even create WhatsApp group. Go to EFCC, you see them, they are WhatsApp group. They are trying to recover their money. And meanwhile, the founder was busy. They say it's into farming. He was busy driving Range Rover and G-Wagon, a farmer, and you people were giving him money. So I think there's no comparable. You can't compare land banking and stock. Because like I will give you one, land banking is not regulated. It's between me and you. Highly, very, very risky. But it can work for you, but it doesn't mean it would work for everybody. Any other question there? Okay, that's all. Nobody's raising their hand there. We have one more question there if it can come before the end of the program. So audience, we'll give audience 3. So that three questions. 3 questions. Okay, 1, 2, 3.
My name is Emmanuel Ibuazia. I am happy to be here today. When you were presenting, you made mention of investing in emerging stocks. And one of the examples you gave was Aradel. Aradel, when it came out as a private placement. And we also know it came out then as Niger Delta, today to Aradel. It did well. My question there is, for emerging stocks like that, a number of them had come up. I remember in 2008, I personally invested in Kajola. And just last week, I brought out my certificate. I looked at it. It was also a margin, and I wasn't happy about it. Please, I want to ask, as part of the take home, are there emerging stocks which you feel will be beneficial to us that you might want us to consult further? Or if not consult further, tell us now so that at least we begin to grow our wealth physically and not spiritually. Thank you.
Okay. Okay. Thank you so much, sir. Thank you. Thank you for that question. Like you said, not every situation will be like that of Arajo. And that's why when I was speaking, I mentioned checking the models, checking for the corporate governance, checking for the historicals. When you see all these companies, you don't just go into them, right? Even there are some very serious companies that later crumbled. There was one man, he does not even want to hear Aduva or Toy. He does not want to hear some names. If you mention it and the owners, he will fight with you because they invested a lot and during the crash, they didn't get a penny, right? So while, like you said, you want to move from spiritual wealth to also be wealthy spiritually and be wealthy physically. I used to tell people, even in this market, I invest spiritually. I check the chart sometimes and there is nothing to buy. Right? And I just want to know what the Spirit of God is saying. Yes, I have to mention it here. Right? I think 2 weeks before insurance circular came out and everywhere was a bit quiet, I was just like, God, I have one small money. What do I buy? I say, insurance is you. Do you know the Holy Spirit will give you one thing? He will make you, he will bring logic out of everything. So we are not serving a dumb God. Let me go a bit spiritual. Science will prove everything that the Bible is proving. If you go to ChatGPT now and you ask, like, logically, which religion do you think makes sense? It will tell you Christianity, but ChatGPT itself is an atheist, right? So I think for stocks that you know that you want to really invest in, do like tell your stockbroker that, okay, there's one Legend International that started out few months ago. While it is very enticing, I think it is very speculative. So because I've really not understood their model. It's techie, well, not all techie are techie, right? If anything that makes the like of interswitch pay start to come into our market, you will see the rally. Because there is a bias that, okay, these people have been doing well in their own private space, right? And now they are in this market. Before you came to this market, I never heard of you, Legend man. And I've seen your models. I'm not too convinced. So I may not really invest in you, right? But I can go for the likes of Champs. Champs has been in this market for a while, right? I'm seeing some highs, right? Yes, it started as a penny stock, but right now you see that, okay, what is your result last 2 years? What is your result last 3 years? What are you doing now, and where are you taking this company to? So those are the things you want to watch out for because right now, sir, in our market, I don't even see any penny stock again. With this, Tinubu is a bullish man. Investor went bullish on Tinubu, right? All our penny are no more penny. They are now getting very important. It's 71 kobo stock is now 5 naira. So that's why I said also, when you are also buying, let the Holy Spirit be guiding your buying right now in the market. Yeah.
When you talk Kadiola, okay, so that's to say that it's not all of us that talk investment. We too, if me to have Kadiola, I bought Kadiola. So, but again, like she said, you have to know again when it comes to private placement. Again, there's no regulator; it's between you and them. So that's why it's easy for you to go on that. So I normally advise people, any company that tells you to be listed and is not regulated by the Security and Exchange Commission, please don't invest there. That's my own personal point. So it will save you a lot. It will save you a lot. So I think again, investment is a risk. Some people did this RRD. Some people got upset and sold RRD as a private when it was private and left and say, what's happening in this place? Nothing good is going to come out of it. So we'll go back to that, what we said again, long suffering, fundamentals. What are they doing? She just talked about practically now. It seems like there's no stock in Nigerian market that is penny again, and so you need to be careful what you are buying. And when she made mention of that, the company legend. What I would say is that there are companies that take into the moment. They get into the moment. The difference between 2007 or 2006, 2007, 2008, and presently now is that most of it is driven by fundamentals compared to that time. Yeah. So the companies have what they call the moment time. They know at this time now, everybody's aware of the stock market. Stock market is doing good. That's only success Tinubu can talk. That my economic policy that hits the ground running is the stock market. So they can catch into that moment. So, but you need to be careful. When the market is going up, a lot of things like that will come up. So do your due diligence. It could come up well, but again, if history is anything to follow, even the charm that she mentioned about, charm has been there for almost 10 years now. Yes. It's just now that we started seeing it coming out, doing better. I mean, even trying to pay dividend if he has paid. So you need to also do your due diligence. That's why you need people like her to be able to guide you through. Thank you. Okay, the lady. We've not asked question from the lady.
Good afternoon, everyone. This session has been very insightful and exciting. We won't talk about money. Very exciting. So I just want to ask, for someone like me, I just ventured into the world of ETFs. Just that I find my portfolio right. I want to find out. Okay, so I know my brother does it for me, but I want something local, like an app I can use to buy and then monitor, the stock. So something like that. And then also what compared to like just trading, what's like the advantage of going to the ETF route? Because that's what I'm guessing that it's better because that way you can have like a basket of stocks that you can trade with. So
thank you.
Yes.
That was a good question. Thank you so much. So for ETFs, in fact, right now, I would advise any new person coming to the market to start out with ETFs. And beautifully enough, the Nigerian market has started giving us that exposure. Like we now have a board for ETFs, right? We have different ETFs of very good companies.
Excuse me, before you continue, let our audience, some of them don't know what is ETF.
Okay, ETF means exchange traded funds. So what this does is that it helps you to buy a basket of various stock as a stock. For instance, you feel like you want to buy banking stocks, you want to buy Zenith, you want to buy Access, you want to buy Fidelity, you want to buy Sterling, you want to buy Stanbic. And meanwhile, you don't really have a lot of money and you don't want to be buying maybe 5,000 units. It's quite little. And you don't want to also spend much on costs. You have to pay each of those stocks, you have to pay charges on everything. So one thing that can help you get that same value that you will have gotten in different banks is a banking ETF. So it can, like for instance, we have what we call Vertiba Banking ETF. So what they do is that they mirror all the major banks that are doing well, buy it into their portfolio, right? They have a net asset value for that whole portfolio that they put out, and then they regulate the price to match that particular portfolio. For indices now, you cannot buy the NGX 30. It's not tradable. It's just an index telling you the best 30 stocks in the Nigerian exchange. But there is what we call Griffin 30. There's another one that is Stanbic ETF 30. These ETFs, they buy that 30 best Nigerian stock. It is very regulated. In fact, they have a second leg regulation because whatsoever they buy in that stock is regulated by the SEC. They submit it and they do what we call portfolio rebalancing. So when maybe they are introducing a new stock into that ETF, they will have to introduce it by force. And if they are taking any stock, maybe the NGX is also doing a portfolio rebalancing, they have to do it. So I still did it for some people recently, right? So ETFs is very, very good. And we have just started seeing Nigerians now, their eyes are opening into that. This ETF was actually trading 20 naira some months ago, and now it's now 40 something naira. if I had known, I would have just bought it and it's safer, right? You are reducing risks. So maybe you would have just bought only sterling, and then maybe sterling did not move. But because you bought a basket of banking stocks, you've gotten something. And you were asking how platforms that you can use. Generally, any platform you use to buy your stock, there are ETFs on it. Actually, I think the reason why some platforms took away ETF is because we have some bond range ETFs. Sir. There are a lot of issues. So bond range means that this ETF is matching a bond, and because it is matching a bond, there is no limit up or down. So some people, because they didn't have understanding of the stock market, they just came. You just saw an ETF. You don't even know how much it is trading. You put 1 unit and you say 1 million, and because it entered into the market, nothing blocks you. Another person, wicked, I don't know, but that person is actually a wicked person, came and saw that you were ignorant and then bought that 1 naira, and because you had the money in your account, it's the market, and then bought it at 1 million. Meanwhile, that bond ETF is just worth 150 naira. So because of the issues that many companies had, they had to remove ETF from their app. Before I moved to Vertiva, I was in Happy Invest. We had a app. Vertiva has a online platform where you can trade, like a website on your laptop. You see everything clearly, and they are also building their app, right? So there are various apps online, but please just make sure that you are joining a stockbroker, right? Bamboo is an app, but they are not stockbrokers, though they are affiliated with a stockbroker for them to trade. But basically, go to a stockbroking firm that you know, okay, you can trust. But if you need, you can reach out to me later on and talk about it.
Let me add to what she said. Again, this app thing is very good. I like it. When you do, some people want to do the app, you want to do the app. But again, in terms of execution, sometimes you put it on your app and the market is timely, and that sometimes they will not execute it for you and it has gone. So I always tell people something. You need to, when it comes to your money, in as much as the app is good, physical contact is also very important.
Yes.
So almost all brokerage firms have app these days, or they can give you a trading platform.
Yes.
Whereby you can sit down the comfort of your house
wherever
and
in the world.
wherever in the world, and buy your shares yourself, right in the comfort. You are not even that, like, I mean, you fund the account, and if anything is going wrong, you can call the brokerage firm. Right? Excuse me, I'm trying to do this transaction. It's not good, and I need to do it right now. So if it doesn't go, they can be able to handle it from their own and on your behalf. So it make it seamless. App is good, but you know our technology. You know today they can just tell you the app is down. It happened also some days ago. Even today, I think the CSCS stock portfolio website is down.
Yes.
So you cannot even access your online. So those happen, but when those things happen, the next thing that happened to you is to get it direct.
Yeah.
So I always advise people. I like the app, but go to a physical stockbroking firm so that you can have somebody that you can relate with. And like I said, some of the app again on online, they are not stockbroking firm, they are intermediate. And what a lot of people don't know is that the cost is high than the regular stockbroking firm, because they also have to make commission out of it. So the cost is high. So you must also be in investment in Nigeria. You only need to look at the cost. Sometimes we don't take it serious. Cost is like just 2%, then they increase it to 5%. That means for you to be you must to make 7%. So you need to think about that also. Okay. Final question. We are doing well.
Good afternoon, everybody. I came in the middle of a session, so maybe it is something you have spoken about already. But I wanted to understand, I mean, maybe something I sort of have just decided to move past. But I'm looking at how inflation, especially in the long term, right, affect investments. It's something that for a very long time used to sort of keep me back. I explain what I mean. If you probably invested, say, for the sake of this conversation, 5 million naira, say 5 years ago, right? And today that investment is worth, say, 10 million. I mean, you'd be happy that you have grossed about 20% a year, right?
Yeah.
But in terms of the value of that investment, and I'm looking at it at the on the math side, it doesn't look like as if I have done anything, right? Even though 5 years has come and has gone. And it is something that I just used to generally think of what really is in it for me. I have sort of, just try to move past it with the fact that in 5 years you need to choose whether you want to have 50% of X by investing and inflation reducing what it wants to reduce, or you get 0% of X by not investing at all. But that's not to say that at the back of my mind, I still do not think that with the way currency is being devalued and inflation joined together, I feel like it adversely affects investment, especially in the long run. And I wanted you to speak on that.
Is a question, so I will add to it.
Thank you. All right, thank you so much for the question. Yeah, like you said, inflation actually does affect investment, affect everything we do, affect what you buy, affects what you eat, affects your lifestyle and everything. So I don't want you to look at it as investment only. I want you to look at it holistically, right? So the cost that it took you to wed a wife last 5 years is not also what is taking you. But there is no how you want to characterize it and say you want to keep your money in the bank for 5 years. So you have to choose your opportunity cost, right? So what are you willing to give in for this money that you are investing in? And that's why the stock market is still one that will always beat inflation at any time, right? If you had been in the stock market, I can assure you, your 5 million would not be by now 10 million. Yes. If you invested in fundamentally sound stocks. In 2021, when it looked like everywhere was extremely silent, even the time that we expected that there would be rally in the market, it was bad. 2022 was same, right? I don't want, he is of blessed memory now, but that was just that regime. And it looked like the market was silent. I think I was advising somebody that see this GT has seen 16 naira. After COVID, before COVID, GT was already doing 32, came down to around 12, 13. Later gathered up momentum to around 16 naira. I said, sir, I told my client, if you allow this pass you by, you will never get it at this cost again. That was in 2022. 2022, November, around November, December. And right now, GT it's 103.5, about or 0.3 some time ago. I think that was last 2 months before he now stabilized at 99 naira.
91 naira.
You can't tell me that if you invested 5 million in 2022, right now, you will not be worth more than that right now. So the stock market is just a place where you can actually beat inflation. I can assure you of that if you invest in fundamentally sound stock, because that stock, everybody, like access is something that everybody is seemingly saying, no, no. And so people are hooked in access, and it looks like everybody in access is rotating. By the time that stock will break loose, it will now look like, oh, why didn't I invest then? So I believe that you can give the stock market a try, right? You would always get back your money in full when you invest in stocks that are sound, the banks, consumer goods, right? For instance, some people felt like the consumer good wasn't doing well, and so they are not even willing to invest. But now that it started doing well, very well. And once you lost an opportunity in the stock market, forget about it. If you want to jump and join the bandwagon, they may dump on you, right? So it's just good that you now do like sit down, assess your goals. How much risk can you take, right? But for me, even if I'm investing in treasury bills, as long as my money is not seated in the bank, as the last 2 years, last year, treasury bills was doing very well also. It was giving double digits. I was saying treasury bills 25%, right, for a 364-day bill. And it was very sincerely, not to lie to you, was very impressive because we've not seen that in a very long while. Last time we saw that was in Jonathan's period, right? So you investing in such, yeah, you may say it's not really beating inflation and it's not doing a lot, but it's still better than just your fixed deposit account. So it's just for me to tell you to choose your part, right? But for the stock market, if you're investing in sound stuff, you can't go wrong.
Okay, thank you. Also to add to it, like what she has said, in terms of beating inflation, and when you have an economy like ours, that inflation is not only our challenge, devaluation also of currency is a major challenge, and which you mentioned. What you always see is that the stock market will always go up to meet up with inflation and also be able to beat inflation. And the rally you are seeing now in the market have started was as a result of devaluation of currency, when the currency moved to where it is. So the market will definitely move up to meet up with that currency, especially when we now have our market more or less like an international player. So those are where you can get against inflation. Or you can say, okay, it's not like you said, 5 million. But like I told you, I have a client like that, and he told me, yes, I invested $1,000 at that time, and it was I think 360. If I've kept my $1,000, it would have been 1.5 million. I said, fantastic. And I said, okay, let's go and look at what we bought. What we bought today is about $3,000. At the time we bought it, because we bought it at a very good price. You get what I'm trying to say? So, like she's saying, it's all depend on the fundamentals. She just talked about GTB, 12 naira, and it's now doing, it went to as high as 100 over 100 naira before it has stabilized now to between 90 from 90 to 94. So you can imagine that return. You can't get it anywhere. So it depends. But I totally agree with you. But one lesson you should know is it's better money earned no matter how small a return than to just keep it up and say, look, I don't just trust this inflation and just trust this. And again, she has laid the cat out of the bag. So let me help that person that said he had 5 million. If I have 5 million today, where will I invest it? I'll invest it in Access Bank. So I've answered that person. Any other question?
Yeah, we have a final online question.
Okay.
What is the implication of the new tax reforms?
She will answer it. I know.
Sorry, time has really gone. So just a quick one because we're actually behind schedule. Yeah, for the tax reforms, there are a lot that has actually happened, which yes, especially for we that we are not yet there, we are happy because at least I have many opportunities right now. I think if you're not earning up to you're not making up to 50 million as a company, you're not going to be taxed right now. That is, if your net profit is not up to that. And I think as an individual, if you're not earning up to, I think it's gross, so because me too, I was happy when I first saw it. But I think it wrote annually. If you're earning around 800 to 850 annually, I don't think that person is here. You are not going to be taxed. That is, your company is not paying taxes on your behalf, right? So basically, the tax laws are actually helping the equities market, not just the tax laws. Every fiscal policy that the government is doing right now we are also seeing it in the equity market. So the previous government, the issue was we were only seeing monetary policy at play in that government. They were increasing interest rates, increasing just to help the naira, right? But we see a kind of fiscal balance in this new regime. I'm not a Tinubu person. Don't interpret this. But I'm just talking about what we see in the economy, and that's why we saw FX balancing out. We've seen that your naira is not really fluctuating like it was before. So I would just advise that wherever you are, invest in the equity market right now is your best bet. the tax laws, the subsidy and everything is giving the equity market investors confidence. And because of that confidence, we have much more foreign portfolio investors coming into the Nigerian market at this time. So it's not just about the tax laws and what exactly they give. It's just about the fact that we are seeing a better economic policy in the market.
Tax law. Don't forget that law also it will affect the retail investor, and also it will, because again, whenever if you sell, that means your profit will be taxed. That's what it means. But again, you are not taxed until you sell.
Yes.
So you must know what you're investing on. But okay, I don't know when I'm supposed to say this. But the best way to beat the tax law is if you are an equity investor and you have a company, make sure you invest through your company. And because it will be taxed one-off through withholding tax, through payment of dividend or whatever. So the country is not going to be, but once it's under your personal name, the rest assured it will come as personal income tax again on you. So I'll just leave it at that. Thank you.
Thank you, sir. I think we can round off now.
And so I think we have come to the end of this section of this book review. Hopefully we'll have, you can still reach Laterna Venture if you have more questions. We will pass it on to her and she will reply people. However, then I want to call on the CEO of Laterna Venture, the chairman, my born for life. The man that I've been wondering how he has been involved in this business. Inflation or no inflation, devaluation or no devaluation. Any book you want, you get it in Laterna. Please help me welcome, popularly called RM.
Thank you.